Dark Easy Studios in Steel Quarantine Studios in Edinburgh, Kentucky. It's time for another episode of the Dark Easy TV Recap. Tonight, Toronto gets invaded, the premiere of the Michael Jordan documentary, and Ahsoka faces off against Darth Maul. All this and more on this week's episode of Dark Easy TV Recap. Now your host, Dark Easy! Guys, welcome to another episode of the Dark Easy TV Recap. I hope everyone's staying safe out there. Let's get right into it. Let's not do any intros. We have a lot of TV to talk about this week because all my CW shows came back. Riverdale took a week off, but we have all my superhero shows back on. Plus, I got to talk about this new Michael Jordan documentary show, which is incredible. More on that in a minute. But first, let's talk about Killing Eve, Season 3, Episode 2, Management Sucks. So this episode, we see Villanelle. She becomes a manager of some guy, and they're dressed as clowns at this party. And she sees her client. She's killing his target brutally, and she just kills her client. She says, "Oh, management sucks." Classic Villanelle. Also, Villanelle finds out Eve's still alive, so there's going to be some tension in a few episodes probably. And Eve is disturbed by her former boss's son's death, because the two were kind of close. So it'll be interesting to see what else happens this season. So I like this episode of Killing Eve. Let's move on to one of my favorite episodes of the week, and that was The Last Dance. We're going to talk about the first two episodes of The Last Dance. I've heard about this show for a very long time, and I'm a big Michael Jordan fan. Always have been. I mean, I'm a 91 kid. I was born in 91, so I grew up right at the height of Michael Jordan, and I thought this show was very, very good, because, I've heard about the show for years now, and how can we capture a man who really revolutionized basketball? Because, NBA basketball, I'm not a big NBA basketball fan. I used to have Darth Easy Sports Talk, and I didn't talk about NBA at all, but I will say that the 80s and 90s NBA basketball was something to watch. I mean, from players like Magic Johnson to Larry Bird to Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Derek Robinson, I believe that's what that guy's name was. Those guys really changed the way people looked at basketball. I mean, Michael Jordan created an entire brand, Air Jordan. I mean, that did not exist before Michael Jordan came along. And I like how the show is centered. It starts off with it's called The Last Dance, and there was a crew that followed the 97-98 Bulls team on their last season together. And it was just cool watching. Like, it goes from for the first two episodes, the first part of the episode, it covers all the way to the first game, and then it goes into the game two, or in the second, I think it goes all the way up until March of 97 and 98. But there's so many cool, interesting things that I did not know about, like the relationship with the GM that none of them liked, and Jordan and Pippen. I mean, it probably ended Jordan's career a lot quicker than probably would have. Jordan probably would have played a few more years if it wasn't for this manager. I mean, I'm sure we'll see more of it as the show progresses. I didn't know about the whole Scottie Pippen issue. I didn't realize he didn't make the money that he probably deserved to make. Because even in the documentary, Michael Jordan says, "I would not have won without Scottie Pippen." And Scottie Pippen really helped out Jordan. So who knows how good Michael Jordan would have been without Scottie Pippen, or how good Scottie Pippen would have been without Jordan. So, yeah, and then I like how the show also bridges in the backstory of the Bulls team, of Michael Jordan's history, because it is a Michael Jordan show. I mean, it really is. But, I mean, it's very interesting to watch. I mean, the whole idea of, it goes back to whenever Michael Jordan was in college, and then they talked about the first episode talks about whenever his rookie year, and then the second episode talks about the iconic game against Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics. It was a good these two episodes were incredible TV. I love this first two episodes, and I can't wait to watch more of it next week. So let's move on to Better Call Saul, Season 5, Episode 10, Something Unforgivable. So this was the finale of Better Call Saul. So it comes off right off the end of the last episode where Jimmy and Kim are just sitting in their apartment, just like they're just sitting there staring at each other, kind of stressed out about what had just transpired. They go to a hotel to kind of hide out, and Jimmy asks Mike, like, I need this over. And Mike says, oh, don't worry, Lola's going to die. More on that in a little bit. And then at the end of the episode, you see Jimmy and Kim, they're just talking about Sandpiper and how Kim talks about ruining Howard's career, or not ruined its career, but ruined the case so Jimmy can get like this $7 million. And Jimmy's like, no, we can't do that. And he's not fully sold yet. I mean, it's good to see that little bit of goodness in him. So I'm curious to see what happens this upcoming final season. Now let's talk about some of the other stuff. Lolo takes Nacho to his stronghold, and Gus is going to kill Lolo. He's going to send his crew to destroy Lolo and his family and his stronghold. And Nacho gets out, so I'm curious to see what they think. It was cool seeing Alado in this episode. It was very cool to see it. I'm curious what is going to happen next season. I really am, man. I'm assuming. I've been hearing it's the last season, so I'm looking forward to this final season of Better Call Saul. This season 5 was incredible. My review will be up probably Monday, and yeah, this season was great. Let's move on to The Flash season 6, episode 16. So long and good night. So this episode, we get a little bits of everything in this episode. Iris is still stuck in the mirror universe. It's been a little bit before the show. Joe is being targeted by that company guy, the husband of the Mirror Girl. So it was cool kind of seeing this little bit of episode, but basically Mirror Iris is trying to get Barry to use up all his speed, and then Joe goes into witness protection. So I'm curious to see if Barry's going to be able to figure out, because Mirror Iris gets Barry very emotional, and it's causing him to use more of his speed than he would like. So I'm curious to see how this ends. I'm curious how many more episodes we actually got, because with the whole coronavirus going on right now, it's kind of stopped shooting of these episodes. That's why I think the show took a little bit of a longer break. So we'll see what happens. Let's move on to Legends of Tomorrow season 5, episode 9. Sorry, not sorry. So this episode, Legends, we see the present Sorry talk to her totem, and she talks to her past self from the other timeline, and it was cool to see. But we see that Charlie's sister, she gets into the Wave Rider and she kills Sorry's brother. So we'll see how long he's dead, because if they get the Luma Destiny, or the Luma Destiny or Luma Fate, something like that, they'll be able to bring people back. Also, there's a Supernatural's jokes in here, but I never watched Supernatural, so I don't give two shits about that show. Let's move on to Survivor season 40, episode 11. This is Extortion. So this episode, it was I think maybe one of the best Survivor episodes in a very long time. Probably the best Survivor episode since the David versus Goliath episode, where they did the minority vote split. This episode was incredible, and it's because of Tony. Tony, there were so many Tony confessionals, from him finding the immunity idol, and him at the beginning of the episode, he said, like, see, I've been playing very calm, but now it's been bowling, but I want to play like me. I want to play like Tony. And Tony, he finds the immunity idol, so now Tony has that immunity idol. We'll see if he can keep it, and but then the Parvati and Natalie, they find the extortion, which they extort Tony 6 fire coins. That's a little much, don't you think? But it was great seeing Tony playing that social game of getting coins from Ben, from Jeremy, from Nick. And then the immunity, Tony wins another immunity. It might cause him to be a bigger threat. So Tony has a plan. The plan is to split the votes between Jeremy and Michelle. Jeremy thinks he's good. He thinks he's got Tony. He thinks he's got Kim. He thinks he's got Denise. Well, he doesn't have any of them, really. But Tony has his plan. He wants to split up Sophie and Sarah. I think it's a good move. He might get voted out next week, and maybe it wasn't a good move. But getting rid of Sophie was the right move to do because Sophie was a dangerous player for his game. It's just like what happened in Survivor Cagayan, where he voted out LJ. It's the same situation, using these people that don't really fit together and getting rid of someone. I thought it was a brilliant move. I really did, and I'm curious to see how Sarah and Tony get along after this episode. Because in the previews, it doesn't look good for Tony, but we'll see what happens. And it was a great episode. It was a great episode of Survivor. Let's move on to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Season 7, Episode 13, Lights Out. So, the Brooklyn goes dark. The lights go out, and Amy's starting to have her baby. She's getting ready to go on maternity leave, but her water breaks, and she has the baby at the precinct. Also, Holt and Terry are stuck in the elevator, and to distract Holt, Terry teaches him a salt and pepper dance or something. And also Peralta and Amy have their baby. So it was a good little episode. Let's move on to Star Wars The Clone Wars, Season 7, Episode 10, The Phantom Apprentice. Ahsoka and Darth Maul finally fight. And Darth Maul is leaving there are so many references to Revenge of the Sith. I mean, everything from when Obi-Wan shows up, and Obi-Wan's talking to Ahsoka about how he's getting ready to go to Utapau, how Anakin's on a secret assignment to talk to Anakin, to try to help him get through this, to do his duty. And Ahsoka's just kind of shaking her head. And then Maul's whole plan was to get Kenobi and Anakin because he needed to kill Anakin because he saw in a vision that Anakin turned to the dark side. And it happened. And Ahsoka just can't believe it. And, it kind of sets the seeds for what we see in Star Wars Rebels. And that's what this episode was so brilliant at. The lightsaber fight was incredible. It absolutely was incredible. And to see Maul get captured, and Maul's like, no, let me die. Let me die. Because he knows if he gets captured, he's going to be tortured by Palpatine. He'd rather just go out with a clean death any day. So, yeah, this episode of Clone Wars was absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to this next week's episode because I have a feeling I'm probably going to tear up. So guys, that ends another episode of Darth Easy's TV Recap. Guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of fun doing a lot more TV this week because it's been kind of a slow lately, but I'm looking forward to more. I'm curious how long this TV rush is going to last. We only have 2 more weeks left of Clone Wars, but I still got a lot of other shows coming on. So, guys, check us out. Check out me here every Sunday on the Darth Easy YouTube channel, and also check out my podcast feeds on iTunes and the other podcast platform. I have this on Spotify. I don't know what else I have this on, but check this out here every week. I have each week. Comes out on Sunday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And guys, also check out the Easy K Show. Each week, me and Rainy Cage, we post our weekly reviews or weekly posts about a certain topic. Yesterday, we had a double episode since we missed a week before. The top 10 Doomsday movies. That's very exciting. Saturday, we won't have another episode till next week. So, yeah, check out that episode right now. So, guys, and also check out the Darth Easy YouTube channel. I don't have a lot of reviews coming up. Tomorrow, I will have a review of Better Call Saul Season 5 for a more in-depth talk of it. You can check out that review just to support the Darth Easy YouTube channel. So, guys, until next week, all too easy. And stay safe out there. Bye!
Driving into town, can't see or hear, kill communication, stepping off the grid just to let me know. So many got my time.